What's good, everybody? Corbino here, and we got ourselves a Deadpool 2 review. Fantastic movie. Not as good as the first one. I was really hoping it would do the basic stereotype of superhero movies like X-Men, Spider-Man, Captain America, where the second one is always better than the first. But I'd prefer the third not to be worse than all of them. Captain America, that's not the case, I guess. But like Blade, X-Men, no, Wolverine, damn. Guess it's not really a stereotype anymore. Huh? Lots of fun Easter eggs. It was a fun movie. I give this movie like an 8.8 out of 10. While I give the last Deadpool probably a 9 out of 10. I haven't watched the last one in a good while, but I do know that I prefer the first one over the second one. Yes, it's awesome because it introduces more characters and further builds the X-Men universe. But again, if the whole Disney deal is true and everything's going to work out in a couple years, we're going to have the X-Men over at the MCU. There's no point to continue to build it. So just give us a few more movies to give us a close. Spoilers, as always, guys. Deadpool looked great. At the end of the movie, his costume's all burnt and like dusty and smoky, so it's gray and black like how a suit is when he is a part of X-Force, so that's a fun little Easter egg. I guessed it in the movie while I was watching it with Caitlin. They were talking about the monster, the big guy, and I kept saying Juggernaut, 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 and then I was like, maybe Sasquatch, but like I highly doubt they'd put Sasquatch in a movie. It's not like they're gonna have Hulk over here, and Colossus is already a thing. And so it just kept coming back to Juggernaut. So that was cool seeing him, and he even says at one point, he's talking about how he wears the helmet so his brother can't read his mind, Professor X, how Deadpool makes jabs at how there's no other X-Men in the house. This movie does something about that. Introduces Negasonic's girlfriend, which I don't know if she's an actual character in the comics, but she does some cool lightning thingy, but she doesn't really get too much screen time. But she's an X-Men by the end of the movie. But you also, in a closet behind Deadpool, see Beast, Cyclops, Quicksilver, and Professor X, and they close the door. And I feel like Professor X might have had hair. Maybe he didn't. But either way, it's the young versions, because also there was no Quicksilver in the original trilogy anyways. So it confuses the timeline more, because when Deadpool's wearing Cerebro, he says it smells like Patrick Stewart. The wheelchair is Patrick Stewart's, even though McAvoy gets it at the end of Apocalypse. But still, chances are it would have been Stewart's. And with Colossus being the way he is, being way bigger than the original trilogy Colossus, even though it's probably, timeline, reboot, Negasonic being there, and the mansion being how big and crazy it looks now, like, it's got to take place after the original trilogy. But then they fucked up the timeline again and showed us the past, the prequel, the young X-Men. So it looks like X-Men will never have their timeline and stuff ever figured out, so don't ever try to understand it. Literally before the start credits, like, how it starts off with Deadpool, and he says, produced by asshats, directed by, starring, and he, makes fun of everybody. Before that even happens, Vanessa gets killed, and that's sort of what starts the movie. He makes a jab at Wolverine for copying his R-rated thing, and then dies. He's got a real bromance type thing, like a one-sided bromance with Colossus. Colossus gets real annoyed with him. The little boy Russell is someone named Firefist. I've never heard of him. I think he's from the comics after watching a video on it, but he's way different. He's kind of annoying, but he's an alright villain, I guess. Cable's a pretty good villain up until when he becomes a good guy. Domino is great. And I don't really know anything about Domino, but I've been reading the Weapon X comic book series that's been out since early 2017, I believe. Really have been following for her character. It's her and Warpath are my favorites of Weapon X, the new story arc or new storyline. And she now has her own spin-off series, Domino, 2 issues in, and it's still going good. So I was happy to see her character. Cable, that was awesome. Doesn't mention that how Cyclops is his dad, and like Jean Grey, or a clone of Jean Grey, or whatever, is his mom. And also his dad was in the same movie as him, because Cyclops was in there. And it's the actual actors, I don't know if I said that or not, but it's the actual actors, so that's pretty awesome. It was awesome seeing Shatterstar, and he even says he's from Mojo World, which was awesome. I loved that. And Shatterstar is a pretty dope character in the comics and cartoon. But, spoiler again, they kill all of X-Force except for Domino. And I've never even heard of Bedlam, but Bedlam was played by Terry Crews, so that was cool. Vanisher was played by, was it Brad Pitt, maybe? And he was nowhere in the movie until he died. You got Zeitgeist, never heard of him. But once I saw a picture of him from the comic, I have seen him, but I've never heard of him. You know what I mean? But he was played by Bill Skarsgård, aka Pennywise. And they all die. Zeitgeist actually dies how he dies in the comics, though, apparently. You know, after watching videos. Domino has luck, so she survives. And Peter dies also. I don't think Peter's from the comics. I think it was just something funny for the movies. I don't know. You meet Black Tom Cassidy, and Deadpool makes lots of jokes about that, and Cable being racist towards him. Don't really get too much on him. I don't really know much about him. I thought he was part of the Hellfire Club, but I was watching a video and it didn't say anything about the Hellfire Club, so maybe he's not. I don't know. Ryan Reynolds still killing it as Deadpool. Real hilarious. You get to hang out with Dopinder, Weasel, and Blind Al some more. Deadpool, they're all battling Juggernaut and whatnot. They defeat Juggernaut. How did they defeat Juggernaut? I don't even remember. Domino, maybe? They're all fighting, you know, and the Unseen Colossus and him are fighting a lot. I love the jab at the DC Universe, the couple jabs at the MCU, like with Hawkeye, Winter Soldier, and Thanos. I really wish I could have seen the jab about the Disney jab, or the, you know, Fox Marvel deal, or whatever it was that was cut out of the movie. I hope it's a deleted scene, but still, I would love to have seen that scene. Action, hilarity, still, again, prefer the first one, but it was still a fantastic movie. The characters are great. Overall, I mean, it's still a great movie, and it's gonna do well, and Ryan Reynolds was still killing it, and I can't wait to see him in X-Force, Deadpool 3 if they do that. I don't really know if they're planning on it or what. But basically the movie ends with, you know, Deadpool, Cable shooting at Russell, Deadpool jumping in front of it, him taking the collar and putting it around his neck, so he doesn't have his mutant power, so he has to die. Keeps not dying, but he finally dies, and then Cable goes back in time with his last charge instead of going home. Saves Deadpool, and Deadpool's like, your last charge? He's like, I'll get home another way. Deadpool gets Negasonic and her girlfriend to repair the time thingy that Cable uses, and he says he's using it to get him home, but he's obviously not, and Negasonic is saying that she is doing it so that Cable will kick Deadpool's ass. Anyways, he uses it, goes back, saves Vanessa, so that was awesome. I don't remember a Stan Lee cameo at all in this movie. If there was, let me know, because I don't remember it. He goes back and saves Peter from dying. It doesn't show him save any more X-Force members, but I hope he did. He goes back, and this is by hands down the best end credit scene, post credit scene, mid credit scene, whatever they're fucking called, credit scene of any superhero, non-superhero, any type of movie, show, whatever that I've ever seen. He goes back to X-Men Origins Wolverine when Deadpool first appears as Baraka with his mouth sewn shut, and Logan's like, or Wolverine's like, Wade, is that you? Man, Stryker really figured out how to get your mouth, or get you to shut up. And Deadpool walks out, shoots the crappy Deadpool, and he's like, hey, it's just me, it's Wade, it's whatever, I'm just cleaning up the timeline, and leaves. And it wasn't really Hugh Jackman, but they just reused the footage, and that was amazing. Then he goes and shoots Ryan Reynolds before he can read the script for Green Lantern and, you know, go do that shitty movie too. So that was funny. And I wonder who plays Green Lantern in that alternate timeline. And also, pretty sure he met his wife on, like, through Green Lantern. So don't know how he's going to meet his wife now. Someone else is going to fall for his wife. So didn't think of that Deadpool, but I guess Deadpool's in love with Vanessa, so it doesn't really matter. Overall, good movie. Like I said before, 8.8, 8.9 out of 10. Still really good, stands up with the first one, and I can't wait to see more. It expanded the X-Men universe by introducing new characters, talking about different locations. Oh, one more thing. The orphanage place that Domino and the little kid wrestles from is Essex, so they brought back Essex again, which they brought at the end of X-Men Apocalypse, and we thought we were going to see Mr. Sinister, so maybe we are going to see Mr. Sinister. We just, not yet though, but we're still seeing his company out there, so let's see Mr. Sinister ASAP, Rocky, please. It was a great movie. It was real funny. Me and Caitlin enjoyed it. Awesome Easter eggs, awesome references, fourth wall breaks. Great seeing everybody again and seeing the new characters. It was weird seeing Cable so short, but still, it was a fantastic movie. I highly recommend it. And until next time, just don't make my suit green or animated. This video is brought to you by Sideshow. Go to sideshowtoy.com for $25 off using our promo code, which will be down here or in the description below. Like I said, you get $25 off on awesome toys. So yeah, go do it.